Hi everyone and welcome to another obscure Asian story. The Setagaya family murder case is one of the most baffling unsolved crimes in Japanese history. The 4 family members were found stabbed to death in their home with no signs of forced entry or struggle. The killer was never identified or apprehended, and the case remains unsolved to this day. The case has been featured in numerous books, articles, and documentaries, and continues to fascinate and horrify people around the world. What happened to the Miyazawa family? Who was responsible for their murders? And why did they do it? In the bustling city of Setagaya, nestled with the neighborhood of Kamishoshigaya, stood a charming 2-story townhouse. This was the home of Mikio Miyazawa, a 44-year-old man working for a foreign-affiliated company. His wife, Yasuko, 41, had a nurturing spirit. She used their home as a platform to give private tuition to primary school students. Their family was completed by their 2 children, Nina, an 8-year-old girl, and Rei, a lively 6-year-old boy. Adjacent to their home lived Yasuko's mother. Yasuko Miyazawa converted her mother's ground floor into a private tuition center, while the ground floor of their own unit was solely for her husband's use. Although the 2 units appeared connected from the outside, they were actually separate. The Miyazawas had lived in this house since June 1990, and their 2 children were born here. Their life was blissful until December 30th, 2000. On December 31st, Yasuko's mother woke up with an uneasy feeling. It was 10 in the morning and Yasuko was supposed to have dropped off the 2 children for her to look after, but there was no sign of them. Half an hour later, filled with worry, she tried calling Yasuko twice, but there was no answer. The door was locked and the family car was still in the garage. They had to be home. With a spare key, she let herself in. The house was eerily dark and filled with a foul smell that made her heart pound in her chest. She quickly turned on the light and gasped at the sight before her. Mikio, her son-in-law, collapsed at the staircase landing, covered in blood. Panicked and terrified, she rushed to the 2nd floor in search of her daughter. She found Yasuko on the 2nd floor, brutally injured to the point where some bones were exposed. Beneath her lay Nina, her granddaughter, who had also been cruelly taken from this world. Overwhelmed by horror and grief, Yasuko's mother stumbled back down to the ground floor and called the police. The police arrived swiftly at the horrifying crime scene and initiated a comprehensive investigation. The scene was a chilling tableau of violence and bloodshed. Mikio's body was discovered on the ground floor staircase landing, with a small knife tip lodged in his skull and multiple stab wounds all over his body. His right thumb had been severed. On the 2nd floor stairway, Yasuko and her daughter Nina were found. Yasuko's body was covering Nina's, suggesting she had tried to protect her daughter. Yasuko's face was brutally stabbed and her throat slit, with so many lacerations that some bones were exposed. Her face was disfigured from the numerous cuts. 8-year-old Nina had multiple stab wounds on her face and neck and signs of being battered. In the 2nd floor bedroom, 6-year-old Rei was found on the lower bunk of the bed. He had been strangled as indicated by a deep mark on his neck. His bloodshot eyes and bloody nose suggested a strong killer. There were no signs of struggle, indicating he was likely killed in his sleep. Forensic analysis suggested the time of death to be around 11:30 p.m. based on food residue in their stomach. Evidence at the crime scene included a footprint outside the bathroom window and trampled plants. The first aid kit had been opened, and bandages and towels with the killer's blood and fingerprints were found in the kitchen. The killer had used sanitary pads to stop his bleeding. Numerous footprints were found throughout the house. The killer likely entered through an open 2nd floor bathroom window next to Shoshigaya Park, climbing a tree to gain access. Rei was strangled in his sleep on the 2nd floor. Mikio rushed upstairs after hearing commotion in Rei's room, fought with the killer but was fatally stabbed in the head with a sashimi knife. A broken piece of the sashimi knife blade was found in Mikio's head. The killer then attacked Yasuko and Nina with the broken knife before discarding it for a santoku knife from the Miyazawa's kitchen to continue his horrific spree. The killer left behind a significant amount of evidence at the crime scene. 2 murder weapons were found, a sashimi knife brought by the killer and a santoku knife from the Miyazawa's kitchen. The sashimi knife, sold under the name Sekimagoroku Ginju, was 34 centimeters long with a 21 centimeter blade. A total of 1,500 such knives were manufactured in Fukui Prefecture in June 2000 and sold in 46 outlets in the Kanto region. The killer's fingerprints and blood were found at the scene but had no matches in the Tokyo police database or Interpol, suggesting the killer had no criminal record. The killer's blood type was A, and DNA analysis indicated he was male, possibly of mixed race, with maternal DNA of European descent and paternal DNA of East Asian descent. The killer's shoes were identified as Slazenger brand, size 27.5 cm, manufactured in South Korea. Other items left behind included a Uniqlo AirTag jacket, a gray Crusher hat, an unbranded scarf, a sweatshirt, an Edwin glove, 2 black handkerchiefs, one with a hole, and a hip bag. The handkerchiefs and hip bag were sprayed with perfume by Guy Laroche. Despite the violence of the crime, the only items taken were 200,000 yen in cash. Miyazawa's purses and credit cards were left untouched. The killer, believed to be between 15 and 35 years old at the time of the crime, was around 170 centimeters tall with a slim build and likely right-handed. Evidence suggested he might have a military background. He spent between 2 to 10 hours in the Miyazawa's house, using their computer, eating their food, using their bathroom, treating his injuries, and even napping on their sofa. His fingerprints were found on the computer mouse. The killer's departure time is uncertain. While he was known to be in the house until at least 1:18 a.m., further computer usage at 10 a.m. could have been accidentally triggered by Yasuko's mother. The killer rummaged through cabinets and drawers, but it's unclear whether he was searching for something specific or trying to simulate a robbery. Several sightings of suspicious individuals were reported around the time of the murder. Yasuko's mother reported seeing an unknown car and a suspicious man near their house. On the day of the murder, someone saw Mikio arguing with a man outside the house, and a man matching the police's description of the suspect was seen at a train station about 1.5 kilometers from the Miyazawa's house. The Miyazawas lived near Soshiga Park and were one of the few families who hadn't relocated due to park expansion. They had agreed to relocate in March 2001. With few residents in their area, potential witnesses were limited. Mikio had reportedly had disputes with regulars at a nearby skating park. Numerous theories have emerged around this unresolved case. The police have offered a reward of 20 million yen for any information leading to a suspect or resolution of the case. Despite the deployment of over 250,000 police officers and investigators over the past 2 decades, the perpetrator remains at large. Each year, the police pay their respects at the Miyazawa's house, pledging their commitment to bringing justice to the family. The killer left a significant amount of evidence at the crime scene, including fingerprints, DNA, shoe prints, and personal items. However, after checking over 5 million people's fingerprints and conducting 1.3 million DNA tests, no matches were found. The killer's DNA was unusual, suggesting European ancestry on his mother's side and potential links to China or Korea. Sand grains found in a pouch were not native to Japan. Speculations about the intruder's background includes potential military experience due to his cautious walking style. This theory suggests he walked in small steps with his back against the wall to avoid slipping on the bloodied stairs. But none of these theories have ever been proven. The Setagaya family murder case remains unsolved and the killer remains at large. Like always, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time, and thanks for watching!